Sometimes I kind of feel bad, like I nursed Tristan until he was 9 months old, and I only nursed him till 4 months because I couldn't keep Tristan's schedule of all of Tristan's events and things that he does, and nurse at the same time, because he'd want to nurse and I'd be behind the wheel of a car taking Tristan somewhere.
Extras are wrapped. Thank you very much for your patience.
Tristan, thank you.
4-year-old Tristan is a child actor. On this set, he has been playing the role any mother might wish for her son, the world's most perfect child, Christopher Robin. 1 week into her therapy, Catherine realizes that she had also cast Callum in the same role as his brother.
I started to think that I don't know if I've ever let Callum be Callum. I think Callum was born to be Tristan.
Okay. Callum's play provides another clue for Liz Muir. He ignores the tame animals among the toys and goes to the wild ones with sharp teeth. Attachment theorists see this as a child's way of demonstrating feelings of aggression that come from the frustration of coping with an insecure relationship. And it turns out that aggression is one of Marceline's concerns.
You don't want her to be too aggressive, though, either, because then I think she'll have trouble socializing with other children, you know, if she's, you know, pushing and you know, she's not hitting, she, you know, but maybe it'll lead to that, I don't know. You know, when she gets older, you know.
Right.
The University of Minnesota, America's foremost center for the study of attachment. Here they have been following more than 200 children from birth. They are now in their 20s. In charting their development, psychologist Alan Sroufe sees a clear connection between insecure attachment and aggression. His work explains how the failure to form sound relationships in infancy can lead to violence in later life.
To really understand violence in children, you have to also understand why most children and most people aren't violent. And that has to do with a sense of connection or empathy with other people. I mean, usually a human being doesn't want to hurt another human being because of an empathic sense of connection with that person. And I think this is something that is based very strongly in the early relationships of the child, and maybe most strongly in the earliest years of life.
When you're in that kind of state, where you feel that feelings don't matter, and where you're more inclined to be aggressive and to victimize others, it isn't that big a jump to see where you might also become violent in later years if other aspects of your social conditioning contribute to it. If you live in a certain kind of neighborhood and have certain kind of negative influences, have access to weapons, you know, there are a lot of inputs. But I think that certainly not having feelings for others is a critical input as well.
To me, aggression is no longer a mystery or a surprise. If you see, especially if by aggression you mean a child that is filled with malevolence towards other people, is angry and hostile, and deliberately seeks to injure others, it's incomprehensible to me to think that that could be a child who had a supportive, nurturant background.
It has been another bad day for Callum and Catherine, and the tension has spilled into the night.
Stop. This is bad. You're a bad baby. Just stop. For Christ's sake. Go to sleep.
Callum's father is worried.
I could feel that the relationship between the two of them was deteriorating, and I was really concerned about where it was going to go. Catherine and I had words about it. I knew she was getting near the end of her patience.
I mean, in fact, we had such a bad day yesterday. I know this sounds so horrible, but I left my kids in the house and I got in my car and I thought I was going to leave. Oh, it was so horrible because when I came in, Tristan's sitting on the floor crying, going, "Where did you go, Mommy?" And it made me feel even worse. And then that makes me mad at him because Tristan had to suffer because I just sort of reached explosion point.
But in the discussion, Catherine remembers that for a couple of days after their last play session, Callum was easier to get along with. She starts to wonder.
I'm just sort of making some connections here. Also, the 2 days that were really wonderful, he was playing really differently. Like, he was playing very independently.
Was he?
Yeah, he was.
And as she brings Callum to the Hinks in the next 2 weeks, Catherine begins to understand the lexicon of her 11-month-old. This is how she gained that understanding.
It's that beanbag.
She notices that Callum is enjoying the beanbag. He whines a little, and Catherine assumes he needs a diaper change.
I think that might be.
But that is not what he is trying to say. It will be a few weeks yet before his mother gets the message.
But I know the first time
The next week, he goes to the beanbag, and he gives his mother a look, which she interprets wrongly.
This is, I'm peddling something. And looking at me like, almost like, are you jealous?
She thinks he's being smart. 3 weeks later, she understands.
He just loves to crawl up on the bed and just cuddle up with you and just kind of fall into the duvet. It's very similar,
Right.
you know.
Oh, so maybe that.
Yeah, that might. I never thought of that before because we've had it for months now.
So maybe rather than just a kind of a sort of smug look, see, it might have been an invitation for you to be with him as you.
Yeah, yeah. What are you doing? Oh, come back here.
It has taken just 4 hours of therapy for Catherine to realize what her son really wants is her affections.
Woo! He's become very cuddly, and he's communicating a lot. He's really making an effort to get his thoughts or his needs across to you without screaming.
At about the same time, Victoria too has found a way of communicating without screaming. Out of all her wakeful nights, this is the first time she has reached out for her mother.
She was holding on to my hand, fairly, you know, she had a good grasp of it, and then she grabbed onto my baby finger and was holding my baby finger, and I thought, geez, this is something like like a real newborn does. Like, that's something, and it was, I don't know, it was a good feeling. Like, I thought, oh, geez, it felt like she wanted me there, she needed me there.
I think you're right on the point of discovering something really important.
The discovery was that Marceline was able to comfort her baby in a way that she was never able to before. So for the first time in 18 months, Victoria was able to sleep peacefully through the night.
Come on, take Mommy's finger.
Callum, too, has a finger hold on a new sense of security by week 4 of the play sessions. For Catherine, this simple touch is a powerful event.
All I have to do is give him my finger, and he's perfectly happy.
Isn't that incredible?
I can walk through a mall with him holding on to my finger, and he won't wander off. He'll just hang on to my finger. I think that something has clicked between Callum and I that has never clicked before. I feel like we finally bonded for the first time in his whole life. It's really amazing because I didn't think it was ever going to end. I could just see myself butting heads with this kid till he was 20.
Parents who keep butting heads with their kids, who rock between criticism and anger, put their children on a path to self-destruction at a very early age.